snapping his fingers as though this could make up for the awkward moment. You were great. The look on Gargoyle's face. Hi, good morning. Good morning. It is a lovely day. Hi. Okay, let's see. I found this nifty little thing that I don't know, I hadn't seen in a bit called Control Room. And I'm going to try and use it today because you can't really like see what's happening. No. Let's see, live dashboard. Does that work? Curious. I had looked at it earlier, but I don't know what it's doing. What? The page crashed on me. Good morning. How are you? Is today a good day? Because today is shaping up to be a good day for me. I have declared it. I claim it. I own it. This is what is going to happen with my day and hopefully with your day as well. Now, if you are already in the chat room, just bear with me a little bit. I am trying to figure this out because there's an option now for you to be able to manage what's happening with the stream. And that way I can see your chats without having to have 7 jillion windows open. You know what I mean? But I don't know what it's doing. It doesn't look like it's doing anything. Live dashboard. Because it doesn't show you this screen until you start streaming, but you know what? I'm going to just do... No, I didn't feel in control. Live stream offline? Why? Strange. Stranger and stranger. All right, let us get this going. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is a lovely day. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We love to laugh and play. Did I ever tell you that I taught kindergarten? I taught kindergarten, and I didn't really... I was 18 years old, and I had the opportunity to go and be sort of like a classroom helper for the teachers at this one kindergarten that I had gone to many years ago when I was 2 years old. Yes, I started school at 2. No wonder it seemed so long when I finally graduated. But anyway, at this one kindergarten, I got to teach 3-year-olds, 3 and 4-year-olds. And it was some of the most interesting times of my life. I love seeing children learn. I love seeing them figure things out for themselves. It's always interesting to me because they're just, you know, they're tiny little humans, but they're just like we are, just trying to figure out the world and their place in it, and what things will bring good things and what things will bring bad things. You know, like if I do this particular thing, then bad things are going to come, you know, that kind of thing. So I enjoyed watching them grow and learn. And at some point, I was made responsible for those kids because I was such a good helper that the teachers would just like sit outside the classroom and drink tea. So we'd sit down and read stories and count numbers and do the alphabets because that's what you do with 3-year-olds. Nothing more serious than this is how you're supposed to behave amongst other people. And here's letter A. And this is what it sounds like sometimes. Okay. So I hope you're ready for our morning write-in. Now, if this is your first time seeing any of these videos, I didn't even introduce myself. If this is the first time you're seeing any of these videos of mine, my name is Bwandunji, and this is the Monday morning write-in. I usually start at 9:30, but we had a bit of a late night last night. And you know how these things go. You wake up in the morning, things need to get done, and you need to still continue to move forward, which is why I postponed it for 30 minutes. Which means I know I lost some of you, but I hope you'll be able to watch this later so that you can get your writing done. Okay. Also, so this is how this usually goes. I have 3 different instances in which we do 20-minute write-ins and writing sprints. I apologize. 20-minute writing sprints. And I time it and let you know when it begins and when it ends. And sometimes we have a conversation in the chat about what happened, but I usually try not to look at the chat window when we're writing so that I'm not distracted either. And so distracted and any other people who are joining the chat. Okay. Also, another thing that I do is I play my own music using my device because several times I have used my computer to play music, but somehow the headphones that I love to use because they don't hurt my ears will play the music in the video. And then, you know, YouTube alerts you and says you're playing somebody else's music. So if you get to start making money off of that video, rightfully so, the money that is being made will be transferred to the person whose music you have been playing without permission. So instead, what I do is I play the music on my phone and I listen to it during that time. I do want to, I forgot. I usually leave a link to the playlist in the chat window, which I will do with immediate effect. Because I find that these particular, this kind of music helps me as I write. I like using it because it gives me an image of the things that I'm trying to write about. I don't know. It works weird, but it works for moi. Okay, here we go. I've put it in the chat window. My playlist. So if you're interested at all in listening to what I'm listening to, there is the link in the chat window. The other thing that I encourage us to do is to have some kind of drink. This morning, I have a green smoothie that I made myself. It is kale, apple, celery, and ginger and cucumber. That's what I have in here. And I think I put dates in to help it be sweeter. So that's what I have right there. I'm going to be sipping through, and later on I'll get myself a cup of tea. Because tea and writing, ooh, perfect combination. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay. Okay, it is 10 minutes after 10 o'clock. I encourage you to, if you have not yet got the things that you need, to go ahead and get them. so that we can begin this write in. There. These are the most comfortable headphones. Okay, I'm using Baden's headphones just because they're cute. Just because they are cute. Oh. And of course, I need my little extension thingies. Because, you know, we don't listen on Apple devices all the time, right? There we go. Okay. Ooh, and just in the past couple of days. Good morning, Sarah. Hi, thanks for popping in. Okay, so the past couple of days, I listened to, I'm going to say her name wrong, but I'm going to try, Sabah Tahir. I listened to An Ember in the Ashes, and that was just an amazing story. And I do love young adult literature, so I listen to it all the time, along with other things. And right now, I'm listening to Renegades by Marissa Mayer. So that's what I'm listening to as I do my chores. But let's get this started. Where are we? Got your drink? Okay, so our first 20-minute writing sprint starts now, and I will start the timer. I'll see you in 20 minutes. Let's go. And that is our time. Oh, the music just got louder and louder and louder. It was helpful in the beginning, but I'm going to reduce that a little bit. Have a good day, Sarah. As I waved, I like, what am I going to say? That's what I said. Have a great day. All right. So, as the time stretches on, it feels like I'm never, ever, 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 forever, never going to get past planning this story. And it feels a little disheartening sometimes because I just want to get into the story and start writing. But I have promised myself that that's not what I'm going to do this time around. I've done it before and it stalled. So I'm trying not to do that today. Instead, what I want to do is to make sure that I plan it out completely, that I have a complete understanding of where this story is going so I don't get derailed again by unnecessary things that just pop into my head. And sometimes genius things come from there, but I will just write it down instead in a notebook that I keep and just plow on through and then see whether I can add those things the second time that I go through it. And also, I have previously when I wrote my second book, because I have completed 2 novels so far. I haven't queried them. They have not been edited by a professional editor. But when I completed the second book, which is a middle grade series, the first book of a middle grade series, when I completed that book, I completed it within something like 5 weeks. I was done with 85,000 words, which is not a difficult thing, was not a difficult thing for me. Sorry, it was a month and it was 85,000 words and a little bit more than that. And because I knew what was going to happen, I had the plot already outlined and I knew what was going to happen. And so then writing the story became an easy thing for me. And I don't know why I just didn't do that with the other stories that I was creating. There was a series that I wrote and I have it on Wattpad. I removed it from public viewing because it like took a turn. It took a wild, wild turn and I couldn't explain it and I had to take it down because I didn't know where it was going. I need a plot, which is why I'm going to stick to it. But boy, oh boy, this is like hard stuff. So this is the tool that I have chosen right now. Let's see where it goes. And I know it's about screenwriting, but I think it'll help. Right now, I'm doing the villain, the opponent, not the villain, the opponent. Okay, so we are going to very soon get to our second writing sprint or planning sprint or editing sprint, whatever is in your flavor. I am halfway through my drink, but I think my tea will be ready soon. Stand up from your chair, let's do some stretching, and then we'll get right back to it. I won't talk so much next time because the talking just derails everything. Oh. I'm right here in case you can't see, but just stretching my back and my legs. Make sure I don't get problems with that. Okay. Get your water. Get your drink. Okay. This turned out thicker than I thought it would. Makes it kind of grainy, and I think it's just the dates. So I have to figure out something for that. Baden doesn't like thick drinks. So this is all mine. Okay. I know I mentioned that this is the tool that I'm using. What tool do you use? I also have behind me a board with the 3-act structure to help me sort of visualize where I am in the story. I don't know. This is all an experiment. Before, when I did this, I had a different way that it was working. So, because I wrote the second story with Baden, and we had a certain way that we would discuss the plot that really worked for me. So, this is my first time. No, it's not my first time. Oh, yes, it is. Because my first book was completely like off the seat of my pants, which is why it will like, it's a story that never ends because something amazing always comes up. Okay. This one is going to get finished. This is the one that I plan to query this year. Okay. Shall we get on with it? It is currently 10:39, and I don't want to keep you all past your lunchtime. So let's go ahead and start the second 20-minute sprint that will take us to 11 o'clock. 11? It'll take us to 11. All right. So let's go. Excuse me. And that is our time. 20 more minutes completed. I think I figured out something particularly major. One of the things that this book talks about, which is a truth that happens in most stories and is easy to think about, is the fact that the opponent, the main character, has a main opponent. For example, in the Harry Potter series, it is ultimately Voldemort that's against Harry Potter. And if you have not even experienced any of these stories, at least you know a little bit about the main characters to be able to, which is why I chose that one. So you have them sort of in this diagram with the main character and their main opponent and other opponents who must also sometimes be in opposition with each other. It sometimes doesn't all work out in such a neat arrangement, because if you think about Harry Potter, the opponents that he has are Voldemort and Malfoy and Snape in the first book. So that's who would make up the little diagram. Harry Potter, Voldemort, Malfoy, and Snape. Now, unbeknownst to us, Snape is working against Voldemort, but I don't know that he's ever working against Malfoy. And I don't know that Malfoy is ever, has any knowledge that he can even do something about Voldemort, aside from just being afraid of things in general. So I don't know how true that is about how things really work. But anyway, there you have it. I think I have figured out who fits in my diagram for me. And I know that the advice of many writers who write these kind of books, like how to write, how to figure out a story, and all of that. It's just suggestions, right? Because no story that I have found fits neatly into whatever it is that they're saying. Never really does. You have to make up your own mind about what you're doing. Okay, I rambled. I feel like I need to talk. I guess it's time for another lunchtime video because I got things to say. Okay. That's the end of my drink. Do I feel healthier? I don't know. Let's stand up and stretch our legs a little bit. I'm going to get myself a cup of tea for our last 20-minute sprint. And I hope it's going good for you, because it's going good for me figuring these things out, It's not ready yet. There was an interesting conversation on Twitter the other day. I'm on Twitter, guys. I actually found a way to have a presence on Twitter. And in the recent follow back exercises, I've managed to pick up quite a few people, and it's amazing. It is amazing to find this host of people. And I'd avoided Twitter for so long because there's so much bad energy, that I just, you're doing your thing, then you look at Twitter and it's like your whole day is ruined. So finding the writing community on there certainly made it a different space for me. And I started tweeting over last weekend, and The other weekend, last week, and this weekend. I actually did some tweeting and retweeting and following people back and all that stuff, and it's improved the quality for me. So I don't know how that's related to what I wanted to say. Okay. If you are on Twitter, leave your Twitter handle in the comment section below because I'd like to follow you and see what you're talking about and how I can contribute to your awesome conversations that you're having. Okay. My tea wasn't ready, but I hope yours was because we are going to sit down and finish our last 20-minute sprint. Some of the examples in this book, like the Cherry Orchard, I've never watched that movie from 1904, or Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, or the Philadelphia Story, Iliad, The Seven Samurai, The Godfather. I've watched The Godfather, but it didn't make much sense to me when I first watched it, and that was a long time ago. I didn't understand the American references because this was when I was back home in Uganda. And I didn't know what they were talking about. I'd never heard of the mob. Foreign things. So when he writes examples in the story, it's just like, okay, whatever is here. But just to understand the concepts, because I'm not going to go watch those movies. I ain't got time. I do not have time to go out and do that. Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? It's time for us to go. Ooh, one last thing. I have a unicorn, and she makes a lot of noise with something in her butt. Oh, that's where I can change the batteries. Anyway, there you go. This is her, and she's going to. I don't know how she'll do in my hand, but let's see. That's a lot of work for no reason. My niece Chloe also has one, so there, we're twinsies. Who knew? Okay, let's continue with our writing sprint. Sorry for all that distraction. Let's go ahead and get those minutes started so we can be done with the day and get on to other things because we got shit to do. Okay, and our 20 minutes starts now. That's our time. What a morning. Oh my God. It is almost 11:30 and we have completed a solid hour of good work on our stories. And I would like to applaud you for that. It does take a bit of concentration, but hey, it's what we were cut out for, right? Take a little time out to get this done. Now, I do know that I haven't been as consistent as I wanted to be with these write-ins, and I apologize. Some things have been coming up, life happens and things get out of hand. So I apologize for that. And next time I will have some kind, if anything happens, I will have some kind of announcement. So make sure you follow me on Twitter or Instagram where I will be putting these things out. It's much easier since I do not have enough subscribers as yet to send out community messages. So that is that. That's that business put aside. Secondly, let me know how these go for you. Are you a morning kind of writer? Are you an evening kind of writer? What suits you better? Is 9:30 in the morning a good time? I know we started at 10 today, but is 9:30 a good time for you? Or would you prefer it to happen even earlier in the morning? I don't know. One of my major problems is that I do not have proper lighting equipment, so I depend on these two living room windows to give me enough light so that we can have a conversation and see each other. But if you need a write-in that's even earlier, 6 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning, please let me know so that I can see how I can get that done for us. Those of us who write earlier in the day and would just like to be sort of in communion with other people as they write. Okay, let's see. I guess that's it. I guess that's all I had to announce. And I want to thank you again so much for coming to watch this video. If you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so that anytime I upload a new video or start a live streaming like I did today, you get a notification and know when to be here. All right, and I will see you in the next video. I have a video coming up. I have 2 videos coming up this week. The first one is what I learned about writing, and the second one is another lunchtime chat, simply because I've become obsessed with this particular idea of what the future is going to be like, and I want to have a discussion. I want to have a discussion with you, and so I will have those coming up during this week. Keep your eyes, keep your ears, and keep your phones peeled. I don't know how you peel your phone, but anyway. Thank you again for being here and have yourself a wonderful day. Keep writing. Bye.